one volume in evidence. And this is NLUD's small effort in building capacity of young law teachers in different subjects. In building capacity, what is most important is they must have access to some kind of material, some standard material. This compilation has readings as well as some latest cases which are really provocative. They create in your mind a desire to know more about evidence. So this is a modest effort in that direction. So NLUD has kept its promise of capacity building on young law teachers.
Now I would like to request Professor Ranveer Singh to give the welcome address.
Good morning, friends. Welcome Professor Pandey, welcome Professor Pillai and Professor Rao, other friends. Thank you very much for coming. This training program is again in the series of assembly language programs which we already organized at NLU Delhi. In fact, the culmination of this program came out at the time when there was an award ceremony. And Professor Pandey has been always saying that probably not only NLU Delhi, other institutions also need to create such facilities on campus where we can regularly train our teachers. Any profession you go to medical, you find CME, other than continuous classes, or you go to engineering, where they keep updating themselves. Because knowledge is a never-ending process, not that once you get your LLM or PhDs and then you start teaching. Otherwise we get fossilized, I believe. Academics, we have to keep ourselves updated. So this mandate, when we thought of having this academy for training of law teachers. In the US, they are very strong institution like this. We are very keen to develop relations with them. The people have been coming some time, and they have been talking to us on teaching methods. So, as Professor Pandey said, that over the years we have developed some materials, and not only this volume which you have with you, I think everybody got it today. We will also give you the report or Justice Verma's report, which we have printed, that copy. And we'll also give you a copy of the journal, which was released at the time of the convocation, the first journal of National Law University, Research Journal, and smart competition, which we print every year, in the test class. And I think there's nothing more to tell you about the university. You already know. We have very young institution. Many of us, many of you rather, will be elder than us. See, they are 20 years old. Institution Delhi is very old. Jamia is older than Delhi, I'm told, if I'm correct. Is anybody from Jamia? No, I'm told Jamia is older than Delhi. So in Delhi itself, we have very old institutions. The mandate of the law schools we often talk is that when we talk of reforms, probably we need to go beyond these boundaries of National University of Delhi and Dwarka and get back to friends, those who are in law departments, law faculties, law colleges, and share what good practices. I'm not saying teach or anything else. I'm saying we want to share with you. That what good things we do, we want to share with you, good practices. And we also want to learn about your good practices at your place. So that's how it becomes a two-way affair. And in that process, when we wind up this program, your feedback will be very essential for us. And you may not write your name, you fill up the feedback form and criticize us left and right, that's how we go. We believe in criticism. because I always say that all institutions in our country have been doing by psycho-friends in country. Because that's one thing probably we don't like it at everybody at all. There should be no place for psycho-friends in country. Don't say that this material is very good, this is excellent, state of the art, never produced by anybody. No, you tell us where we can really improve, what other articles could be included. And that's how we keep our standards. Let me give you an example. When Professor Pandey and I will come, they will of course praise me, but first they will tell me what mistake I have committed. And I like it so much that if our elders, our senior professors will not tell us where we have failed, we have faulted, we will never grow. So never take that as a criticism. And this I am saying because I often mention about my meeting with the president of the Harvard University one time in Delhi. And I asked him one question. I said, tell me why Harvard is Harvard. And he said three things if Harvard is at that level. One is academic competition. All best, maybe Harvard, Yale, Stanford, Columbia, we compete like hell with each other. And it's such a race that everybody is trying to score over. So that academic excellence, which is very, very fair, not this very unfair kind of thing. You let down others, and that's not the competition. So one is the academic competition. Second was the academic honesty. Academic honesty was that it's not that this scholarship stops with me. It goes beyond me, it goes beyond anybody. There are scholars and scholars all over the globe. And he gave an example. The example he gave was, you know that Professor Larry was the president of the World Bank, a professor of economics, and then he was at Harvard. He said, I went to the class of economics, the PG class, and I told them that this is the usual style of teaching in those places. I said, I wrote some article long back. It is in their journal, and you read that article next time when I come to your class, we'll discuss it. Some 40 page, 50 page article. So they'll give you some 200, 300, 400, 500 pages reading every week. Not that somebody will come and lecture to you, they'll give you reading, and then you are expected to go through those readings, prepare your comments, and when they come, discuss in the class. So next week when he came to the class, then before he would start to discuss that, it was a hand. He said, okay, Professor Larry, I have gone through your article. It's well written, but when I saw the conclusions and the other details which you have given in the body of the article do not match. Your conclusions are something different, and you are trying to say something in your article. So probably you need to have a fresh look at that, because to my mind, there is a complete mismatch between your arguments and your conclusions. That is academic, what do you call it, excellence, that a student in the very first day, a student of part 1 of economics, would have the courage to stand up and say to the Vice Chancellor of Harvard University that the article you wrote probably is not properly written in his own words. He saw that article, next time when he came, he said, you are right, it was written long back, said changed, and I probably need to redraw my conclusions. And then third is the flexibility. Flexibility means not just you may teach in your own way, you may or may not teach. The way we are doing in our universities now. क्लास ले नहीं है, आपकी छुट्टी है, तो आपका मूड नहीं है, तो हमारा मूड नहीं है, मौसम अच्छा है, क्लास नहीं पढ़ाते, आज गर्मी बहुत है, तो नहीं पढ़ाते, we find excuses for everything. But the idea was, flexibility means that you innovate in your own courses which you are teaching. That is the flexibility. Teacher is the boss in the class, and you keep updating yourself, you keep updating your syllabus, you keep updating your cases. Not that you get fossilized. Once I saw some teachers, they will find notes with written papers, run करके तो आपको देंगे भी नहीं ये पढ़ जाएगा. God knows they were written 40 years back. Same notes are carrying on. So we are in teaching positions where we have now very bright students coming to know, and I see my teachers having some time, very, very tough time in the class. So probably we need to appreciate that the law as a profession, the law schools, law faculties, colleges, whatever you call it, you are getting best of students now. And then the recent statistics show, I go to civil services from Pandey now last 4 years. Last year there were 40 students from the law schools coming to civil services. And you know, in 2011 the girl who topped was a law student from Chennai. You all know that. So it's not that when they come out of the law school they are going to be lawyers or they are going to be teachers or going to go to the corporate law firms. There's a whole range of options open for these students now, right? And when they come to the law schools, they come with all kind of expectations. They appear in a test in thousands, like for example, for us, for 80 seats, there are 14,000 applications this year. So when we see those 14,000 applications, when they come, everybody is scared and will win. Because when they decide to join us, their expectations are huge. So we have to match their standards. We are very brilliant. And if we don't update ourselves and perform to the expectations in the class, then there are problems. So we as teachers probably, these are kind of institutions which every institution needs to evolve and update ourselves and also help the other friends to grow. Before I take my seat, this program, to my mind, would be successful when we don't stop here. Carry this material, throw it in a corner, forget about it, say very good, very well printed, very good, well published, good lectures, it doesn't matter. For me it will matter when you organize these programs in your own places. For whichever place you come, invite some 20 friends, not that necessarily you have to put on some registration and earn some money. You say, come on a Saturday, 2 days, we are going to discuss what we discussed at next province to Delhi. And that would make some sense. So that this masters will carry on, this kind of training will carry on probably. And probably with this, thank you very much for coming to NLU Delhi. You can use our wonderful library, wonderful friends with you, those who are organizing this program. And if you need any material, Professor Rao is very liberal. We'll give you whatever material we have with us and we'll carry on. I will not be probably joining you too often. Maybe I'll take one session today. But then since I have to go out of India, I'll not be able to frequently meet you. So best of luck, best of time, best of everything. Enjoy yourself. I seriously believe that those who come from Delhi should also stay in the guest house. That would make some sense. Because one thing would be that you are on time, you are not late. Because Delhi is a place where you are late, you blame traffic for everything. Going meeting with exam, oh my God, traffic was terrible. तो उससे सारा काम चल जाता है. So that should not happen. Better would be that for these days at least you stay in the guest house. You stay in the guest house and come on time. We are slightly fussy about time. And because the idea is that when we organize this program, it is for you, and time is very important, and time is also very short. Thank you very much for coming. Welcome to National Institute.
Now I would like to request Professor Pandey and Vidya as well.
There is self-introduction.
We can start with you.
I'm Dr. Bharti, Assistant Professor of Law and the Coordinator of this course. So if you find any difficulty, I'm always there to help you out. Now we can start with the self-introduction. Please introduce yourself and share your experience of teaching at this school.
We can start with this. New people will come.
Start from the
No seats are there. Anyway.
Okay, I'm Dr. I'm teaching at Faculty of Law, Delhi University at CS. There are 3 centers. I'm teaching at Campus Law Center, and I'm not teaching this subject, evidence. I'm teaching criminal law, but it's a part of the knowledge that I've found here. I'm teaching IPC, specific crimes.
Morning. I'm Shikha Kampush. I'm teaching at Capital Center. And I've come here with the grace of my professor in charge, she had directed me to this course. And I'm so much thankful to her and thankful to her also for allowing us because we are non-teaching evidence teachers and they have
We don't allow you welcome you.
Thank you so much, sir. It was really definitely going to learn waiting for this.
Thank you. Please.
Good morning, everybody. I am Anbusina from Campus Law Center, and I am teaching evidence from the last 4 years. And I have come here because I want to improve my teaching skills.
My name is Ramarav. I am from Patna, Chanakya National University. Presently, I engage myself in teaching of evidence.
Myself, Manoj Kumar. I am from Chanakya National Law University, Patna. I am teaching IPC. I have come here to attend this program so that I can increase my knowledge of evidence, which is very important for teaching substantive criminal law, that is IPC.
English standard teaching from Gujarat National University, teaching law of evidence services for 4 years. And I'm very much interested in this subject because my specialization in LLM is criminal law only, and I had practice experience in that also. So immediately when I joined National School, I started teaching law of evidence only. I'm very much interested in this.
Also tell us where from you are.
I done my LLM from University Law College, Bangalore.
Good morning, everyone. I am Pradeep Rovera. Currently, I am pursuing my PhD from here itself, Delhi, and I taught at Nirma University and Gujarat National University. For the sheer interest in evidence law, I am here attending this session. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I am Vishesh Gaur. I am doing my PhD from this university, and I am interested in this subject because I am doing my research in criminal law. Therefore, this is important.
I am Simran Sen. I am from Dr. Ramadan National University, Lucknow. I attend my evidence from ILI, Delhi. And I am very new to this profession. I joined in 2012 only. I just passed on 2012 actually. And I just taught 1 semester of family law.
Everybody is doing this course.
Thank you, sir.
Very good morning. Myself, Dr. Surosh from MIT Law School in Jaipur. And I'm very thankful to NUG because last time when I attended CRPC, it was just attending for the sake of brushing up my knowledge. But I happened to teach, they are working with the subject for last semester. And those notes, those cases, those sessions really helped me a lot in this. So for this semester, maybe I could teach evidence law that much more. Very much thankful to Nandini sir, Vidya-mitra sir, for the sir.
Sir, I am Dinesh Kumar. I am from Punjab University, Chandigarh. I teach evidence in CRPC. It's last 2 years.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Vidya-mitra from Chandigarh College. And I'm here because I was very much interested in attending this course since the announcement was made in the last CRPC course. I was eagerly waiting, but somehow I did not got the invitation or this information was not put on net. So I kept calling, calling Bharti ma'am and mailing Rao sir, please allow me to join the course. And here I'm very thankful.
Hello everyone, I am Nachiketa Mittal. I am from National Law University, Odisha. I have taught evidence once so far and CRPC twice. So I look forward to attending more sessions on evidence law and will be teaching the same subject and along with CRPC in upcoming semesters. Thank you.
Where did you do your LLM from?
So I did my LLM from Law School, Bangalore, 2008.
I am Dr. Vasanta Kumar, Assistant Professor of Law at Tamil Nadu Dr. Ambedkar Law University, Chennai. So last time I attended CRPC course as a continuation program I attended this. Thank you.
From Government Law College, Chengalpattu, Tamil Nadu. Professor Dr. Vidya-mitra for the program. I am attending already CRPC program, so it's very nice. So I am waiting for this program, searching the website and everything for the no notification website. Professor Vidya-mitra, presently.
I'm Subhadini from Junior Law College. And my specialization is business law. The finance and law
sir, nothing else.
Good morning everyone. Myself Saurabh from Vidya-mitra, and I just came to learn about the from some inspired earlier. And thanks everybody for providing a wonderful opportunity.
Which campus?
Great to know.
Good morning everyone. Myself Rekha Sangha. I'm interested in criminal law from Delhi, and I am attending this continuing program in teaching.
I would request Professor Pandey sir to speak about the program, the structure and the sessions.
I'm prepared to lead what you have done, so I'll join you at also.
With the beginning of this course, NLUD has completed the trilogy of courses on teaching of criminal law system. First on substantive criminal law, June 2012, then on procedural criminal law, December 2012, and then June 13, this course on basic course on evidence law. To me, this is personally gratifying that I had to do something with the envisioning, the planning, and with the execution of these three courses. The credit fully goes to NLUD, which has provided me this opportunity even after almost 9 years of my retirement from Delhi faculty. And I was at the campus law center, I was professor in charge 2.5 years, and I was told by Ranjit sir that you are Dr. Bhuti Prashad's daughter, wonderful to see my colleague's daughter here among the faculty. The objectives of this course are four. Facilitation of a comprehensive, systematic and scientific understanding of teaching of the basics of evidence law. The second, to move in the direction of imparting uniformity in the course coverage by working out commonalities of topics that need to be taught in evidence law all over the country, in various law schools and faculties. Third objective is to provide a comprehensive understanding of law of evidence, particularly of its operation at the ground level, at the district courts, at magistrates' courts. How do judges arrive at a decision of proved, etc. And fourth, to provide a list of essential and optional materials that ought to be with a law teacher who is teaching law of evidence. The 5-day course is broken down into 22-hour and 1.5-hour sessions. Since the idea is to encourage discussion and teach in interactive mode, the main speaker will initiate the discussion in the first 30 to 40 minutes. And more than half of the session will be devoted to interactive mode. That is, you are to ask questions, you are to enter into discussions, you are to mention your difficulties, so that the course is enriched Each learns from others' experiences. No one knows the best. This is a modest initiative to know or move towards the best. The fourth, the titles and topics and the breakup of the core subject has been on traditional and conventional lines. The topics, Professor Pillai was not very happy with the topics and breakups, 20 sessions. But as the convener, I had the problem. Problem is of creating a totally new kind of structure that doesn't obtain anywhere. Or start with the traditional, conventional, and weave in between the new ideas. Say, for instance, role of witnesses is a new idea that was not there earlier. Role of witnesses is not traditionally taught anywhere. Witness, section 118, 19 is totally ignored. And suddenly, child witness problem comes up. Child witness problem and due process in the United States of America, you have a reading there. 3 readings on child witness, which has still received very little attention in our academics. Problem of female witnesses, victim witnesses, came to light because of the rape incidents and rape problem having come up. And female witnesses area became suddenly, then privileged witnesses. Now, all these are new developments in the area of role of witness in evidence, which was totally during our times and during the time when we taught evidence law. Witness as a focus area was never done. So we have tried to bring it in session 5, and we want experts to talk on that. Female witness experts, child witness experts to talk on that and tell us more about it. So this was the effort was to keep the frame traditional and conventional and weave in the new ideas, because the problem of teaching evidence law as a course has limitation of time. You have limited number of periods. You have course coverage problems. You have students are to go for the exams, and you cannot teach everything in evidence law. Remaining for the purpose of research, for the purpose of teachers' own understanding, you might have a broader frame. But this course has got to address both the questions of creating evidence law expertise among faculty and teaching evidence law as a course for the LLB students. These are 2 basic issues that have to be addressed. And therefore, being conventional was a decision. Professor Pillai was not very happy. He will discuss that in the course of his discussion, that the topics are very traditional, very conventional. I said that was the challenge before me. How unconventional I can make it. It should not be so unconventional that it just doesn't obtain anywhere. It is a subject to be taught, and the subject is a compulsory subject in the course. And what topics must come in on that itself, there might be disagreement. Therefore, we have tried to make it, and as a matter of fact, what I've been doing in the Delhi faculty, I was teaching evidence law by unconventional method of dividing all the provisions, grouping them under 3 windows. Window of facts, window of evidence, and window of proof. All the provisions can be, what facts can come in. It will bring in all the debate of fact and issue, relevant fact, and the whole debate on relevancy and visibility, all that will come. Primary, secondary. Then the window of evidence. The facts must become evidence. They must come either in the oral form or in the documentary form. Oral evidence should be direct, 61, 65, not be hearsay, all that. So all that comes under window of evidence. And then the third is window of proof. How the matters which become evidence prove or disprove the fact in issue. What are the rules that guide the judge, that guide the parties, that guide? So I had done in Campus Law Center through these three windows, the whole evidence law. And it was very comfortable, students were very happy because they got everything and they got it comprehensive faith. That is teachers. But in a course like this, which is to be made acceptable to various constituencies where evidence law is traditionally taught, evidence law is taught in the frame of Evidence Act, classification. Evidence law is taught somewhere else. Every teacher must have his freedom working out. So we have given these 20 topics in it. But it is in an interactive mode, so half the time, less than half the time, to initiate the discussion. And more than half time is for your questions and interaction. Because we know you are already, quite a few of you, are already teaching evidence law, and you will have very important questions to ask, not only in legislative law of evidence, but also in judicial law of evidence. Judicial decisions you will have to ask questions. Why, in a particular case, confession is defined narrowly? Why confession is defined broadly? Nishikant Jha's case and other cases, the debate. Balwinder Kaur's case, confession means acceptance of the guilt or substantial, or acceptance, confession means something else. When you define confession, other things become inadmissible. Therefore, this judicial law of evidence needs much more discussion and analysis. Sometimes there are judicial decisions, the case of Sandeep's case, 2012, in which they have made the confession is inadmissible because it is hit by section 25. But I threw the acid, etc., is an evidence which is made admissible under section 8, conducted. The 25 में तो hit है, 8 में hit नहीं है. So Sandeep's case is very good. We will have discussion on Sandeep case, 2012 case. It is in your material. So this kind of interactive, which will facilitate understanding, interactive understanding of evidence law. Last time in the CRPC course, what we learned, that CRPC norm is one. It acquires a different meaning when it is seen from the activist point of view. It requires a totally different meaning when it is seen from the point of view of victim. It requires totally different meaning when it is seen from the point of view of the accused. It requires totally different meaning when it is seen from the point of view of the police or from the point of view of the judge. The norm is the same. And this is happening day to day. Though law says that the parallax should be removed, but parallax remains. because activist perspective is harping on something else. He's talking of human rights, how human rights is working. The victim perspective is different. The accused perspective is different. The police perspective, the judiciary's perspective is different. So they are talking the same norm. This came to light in the course of CRPC lecture. How a lawyer was interpreting, how a judge was interpreting. The norm is the same. And this is the reality. When you are teaching in the classroom, you have got to bring home this reality. And this reality is much more in evidence law. In evidence law, on the one hand, the judge is everything. How many witnesses are required? The final decision is of the judge. What is relevant? The final decision is of the judge. But then legislative law says relevancy provisions are these. The judge cannot deviate from these relevancy provisions, admissibility provisions. So there will be a lot of discussion points in the course. If you really make it interactive mode, each one of us is going to benefit from this course. And the course will become inline much more than what it is. So you have 20 sessions, and every day you have 4 sessions, right from morning 9:30 to 6 in the evening. And we mean business. We have been meaning business. 6 means 6, maybe 6:10. But 6 doesn't mean 5:30 or 5:15. I just hope we keep that promise. Those of you who know it will know it, that 6 means 6, maybe 6:15, not 5:15. So, because you must get engrossed in what is happening interactively. In the course, you must enjoy and blissfully, mercifully. The period of agony is only 5 days. It is not a very long period. So when Professor Ranveer Singh said, Delhiwalas should come, stay here, the period of misery is limited. Therefore, you must make all efforts to come here. And after the course discussion, this lecture, that lecture, and I think we request K.D. Rao Sahab to ask you, give you some tasks. Professor Pillai also is very serious about giving you some tasks, some cases he will give you, and want you to comment on those cases. And that should be one of the tasks that participants should have. You should not be listeners only, you should be participant listeners. And your participation is that you have to prepare comments and present them either here or in some other forum, so that you also work after the course is over. 6 बजे छुट्टी हो गई, not like that. 6 बजे के बाद दूसरे मोड में study होगी, evidence law. So that I think would be the spirit, and with that spirit, if a man of 74 can do it, you who are less than half, some of you may be 1/4 of that age, can certainly do it much more. Thank you very much.